Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Deo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishadvahe. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Let there be peace, let there be peace and love amongst all the human beings of this universe. Let there be peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have started the revision of fifth chapter, that is the Soochee Upakhyaana, the story of Soochee. Soochee is the demoness. And why this story has been taken in the booklet called as Yogavaasishtha by Vasishtha Rishi to be told to Ram, he wants to indicate even the demonesses can become the jivanmukta. It is not only the human beings like men and women, they are only entitled to become jivanmukta. The jivanmukta can be made in any life, provided he has the thinking capacity, contemplative capacity. If he is having, then he can definitely become a jivanmukta. That's what has been tried to be communicated by Vasishtha Rishi. So, what is the tatparya nirvay when we tell the story? Is moral of the story. You have to know the moral of story, because otherwise you will feel it is a cock and bull story. So, what is the moral of story? When something is said, what is the purpose? Why? What is the purpose? For what purpose this has been said? Why it is said? Otherwise, we will go into the reason, logic, and all kind of frustrations will come. So let us be clear about that, and let us only try to understand the import of this story. And this story, first topic goes like this: Suchi Tapaha, austerity of the Suchi. So Vashishta Uvacha, असदाभासम चात्मं ब्रह्मास्ति परमं पदं ब्रह्मणा स्फुरणं किंचित tam jivam viddhi raghava. So what is the meaning of this first loka? Initially, as all the chapter goes, the first loka, the meaning is like this. Always this one or two, three shlokas is related to the scriptural knowledge, and then subsequently the story starts. So what is this first shloka meaning, Sanskrit meaning? There is a supreme state called as Brahmin, which is of the nature of pure crystal, having the resemblance of non-existence, visible universe. So there is a state which is called as Brahmin, which is called as self, which is called as divinity. It is a resemblance of the non-existence. So in absolute self, there is no creation. If we just talk about the absolute self, there is no creation. It is only an absolute self. That is infinity, that is Brahman. This is the ultimate truth to be attended by as a spiritual practice or as a spiritual seeker. Same thing has been explained even in Katha Upanishad. When we will study this Katha Upanishad, we will see. So now Vashishta Rishi is saying, hey Raghava, hey Rama, know that to be the Jiva or the individual soul, which is the shining or manifestation of Brahman a little. So it is what? It is the manifestation of same Brahman. So when it is told that this Brahmin or the divinity or unfragmented segmentation, whatever the name you give, or completeness, or transcendent, immanent one without second, whatever the name you want to give, so or divinity, all these names are only of that supreme state, which is called as Brahmin. If you give any name, so it is actually unmanifested form. It is in unmanifested form, but when individual soul is seen, that same is manifested as if it has become many. It doesn't become many, it becomes as if it has become many. So that has been tried to be told here. The expression of me is called as Jivaloka. That is an expression. So Jivaloka is an expression in the form of life. I am only expressing as Jiva, the soul. That's what has been said here. So conscious reality is expressing as Ahankar. Tadeva ghana samvitya yahanta anukramat sankalpo namukhatam yatat sava ahankaro bhavatyapi. So it is the same divinity which has been expressing as Ahankar. It is the same divinity which has been expressing as the Sankalpon Mukhata. So it is that only that jiva which is in order to be reduced to the state of ego by gross perception. We are having the gross perception happening to be the intent on thought or willing. It indeed becomes the ego. If your thoughts now are started increasing, so it becomes the ego. So what is the problem in the life? There are only two problems: desire and ego. Ego is called as a monster ego, and desire also supports that ego. And then we suffer in the life. We never remain with that divinity which is one. So it is through this conditioning that absolute is expressing as Brahmanam Spuranam. That absolute is only just Spuranam, that Brahmanam Spuranam. As it is, that is Puranam is happening. I alone is expressing as relative individuals, and they are none other than the me. They are none other than the me. That is only the truth. So example is very nicely given. Actually, all scriptural things are very nicely explained by the example. When you know the example or a story, you should go to the potent. And what is the potent? Understanding is required. If you really have the understanding, samajdari, then only you can be really happy and blissful and cheerful and tranquil and for and above relaxed and cool. So what is that understanding? Understanding is through this story or through the examples, we should reach to that unfragmented, undivided consciousness, which is called as a supreme state, which is Brahman. You have to reach to that stage. And what example is given here now is example is given that it is though through this conditioning absolute is expressing as the Brahmanam Spuranam, and this is the expression as relative individuals, and they are none other than the me. They are projected as if they are many, but it's not many. And very nice example is given: ocean and waves. The waves are projected as if they are many. There seems to be many, but they are not many. Actually, it is only ocean. We only get attached to that waves, and then we suffer because of some tsunamis, or we enjoy. Maybe some small waves are there, and we want to play with those waves. So then we suffer. Similarly, in the world also, this all gross level world, all everything is nothing but that divinity, divinity, divinity only. And then we get attached to that individual soul, and then we suffer in the life. That has been told. So, Kishit, it is a limited expression and not complete expression. So, when we talk about the individuality, like I am a speaker here, you are the listener there. So, if we talk about this individual expressions, so feel that there is some speaker, then there is some listeners, and some YouTube program is going on online under the studio, and maybe some tags are attached to it. Some this description is given, some topic has been mentioned there. Yes, it is all there, but there is relative. Actually, what is happening? It's only the divine grace that we are in a position to contemplate on the essence of a yoga Vasishtha only for one purpose, that is to know the truth. Only for one purpose, that is to know the divinity. Only for one purpose, that is to know the supreme state called as Brahmin. Our only purpose is that. There is no other purpose. This is not like we are supposed to give some exams by knowing this story. We are not supposed to uh, by heart this essence of Yoga Vasishtha, or we are not supposed to go and become a big preacher in this field. No, no. See, this world is a curly tail. That's what Swami Vivekananda used to say, and we cannot correct the world. Even if we few people on this channel, maybe 45, if they are there, so if only that 45 itself get corrected and become jivanmukta, it is really we have done the purpose of doing this afternoon meeting. And that's what has been told now in a further shloka. Third shloka. Chittam cheto mano maya prakritischeti nama bhag dirgha swapnam sthiti yata samsarakyam manovashat. So what is told here is thought, objective consciousness, mind, illusion, and nature. These are the names it is taken over. These are the names. What names has been taken by? Because of this gross perception which has happened, we have seen the duality, and they are taken as somebody says it is a thought, somebody says it's objective consciousness, somebody says it is a mind, somebody says it's illusion, and somebody also do not even bother. They say okay, it is nature also. These are the name it is given. Under the influence of mind, it has attended to the condition of long dream called as worldly existence. And what is this worldly existence? Succession of birth and death. So what we feel, somebody is born here, so we enjoy. But that poor guy, kid, he is still crying. He keeps on crying. अरे कहाँ आ गए धरती में फंस गया मैं. Actually, I was unmanifested, enjoying life. I was Mr. Nobody. I was very happy, but now I have become somebody. I have become the grandson of such and such parents. I have become the son of such and such parents. And that's why I have to cry. He is at very close to the divinity. He keep on crying. There is no option for him. So people feel happy. Array, he is crying, so he is really live, and let us enjoy his cry. He is crying, he is suffering, and people are enjoying. And when you really leave this bottle coil, that means all this Panchamahabhuta goes to its own place. That is Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. It goes to Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. After we leave this mortal coil, people cry and then we laugh because we come to know that time कि boss we were manifested divinity and now we again become unmanifest. घर का आदमी घर चले गया तो खुशी है. And people cry because they are in duality. They feel मेरा brother गया, मेरी माता जी गई, मेरा ये गया, whatever. Okay, in the relative world it is required you do that, but heart in heart know that it is the expression of divinity. The divinity unmanifested in the beginning and divinity unmanifested at the end is a joyous stage which is called as nobody. Mr. Nobody is always happy because there are no thoughts to Mr. Nobody. Mr. Somebody like somebody's husband, somebody's wife, somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody is a businessman, somebody is officer, somebody is a professor, somebody is architect. So many somebodies are there and somebody is happened to suffer. So that has been told in this third shloka. Now fourth shloka. असम्यक् दर्शनात्स्थानो इवं पुंसप्रत्ययो दृढ चिदात्मजीवयोर्भेदो नैवैवं जीवचित्तयो. Just as there is a firm conviction that there is a pillar is the man due to a wrong understanding, so there is not at all any difference between the conscious self and individual soul. Thus also there is not a difference between the individual soul and the mind. The former is taken mistaken by the latter. So it's a conscious self and individual soul. It is as if it is divided, but it is not divided. Then individual soul and mind, it looks as if they are different, but it is only one thing. That's what has been told. So conscious reality expresses as Ahankar, and Ahankar projects thoughts. How the cycle is going on? It was unmanifest, it has become manifest. From the manifested consciousness, this Ahankar comes. From the Ahankar, the thoughts comes, and the person becomes more and more impure. So, what has to be done then? Presence and absence of anything and anybody should not be issue in your life. कुछ चीज घट रही है नहीं घट रही, it should not be an issue to your life. Then you are following a spiritual practice. What should be another? Whenever you sit for a prayers, meditation, devotion, whatever you are doing, you should not get the issue of a disturbed mind because everything is like the sea if it is really disturbed or sea is calm. Both the seas are seas only. So it is not different. Yeah, वो अपना समुद्र ही है. It is not different. So you should know that. So here the like post is it is mentioned in this like stano evam punsa prayatto druda asanga darshana stano. So here the firm conviction that the pillar is the man. There is a pillar, but actually it takes as a man, and that is a wrong understanding. Similarly, here also in the life, what we do have a lot of wrong understanding, and due to that we suffer. What are the wrong understanding? कौन सी गलत धारणा है? We have to correct those wrong understanding and do not introduce new understanding from your side. Okay. So what is the wrong understanding? First wrong understanding is about world. Second wrong understanding about individual. Third wrong understanding about God. Fourth wrong understanding about spiritual practice. Let us revise all those. First wrong understanding about the world is that world we feel fragmented. World we feel duality. World we feel it is all so many things. See, then trees, then water and what lakes you see, and man, woman, animals, so many things all divided. But actually, it is when you really keep on contemplating, it is only the expression of consciousness. Second, individual is also an expression of consciousness. Third is a God. God means we feel some Shakti. Okay, Shakti is there, and that is there. But then, if you really go into the Brahma Upasana, where we have Atma Chintan we have done, and there we have seen that if you keep on only praying or maybe worshipping this God will make you cattle. Why it is said like that? Then God will make you cattle means that you will not become a animal or a goat, nothing of that sort. God will make you cattle means you have to keep on worshipping, He will give you the boon. But then you do not remain in transcendental one without second, or your mind is not settled. You always remain in duality. That means you suffer or you enjoy. Whereas if you come to the truth that is we are the divine, so you cannot have any chance of unhappiness. That has been told. And last is the spiritual practice. So what is the spiritual practice? We already said four gateways of liberation. One is contentment, second is tranquility, and third is company of holy people, and fourth is inquiry. So any one of this will naturally pull that complete stool towards us and we'll be happy forever. So that has been told. So mind should be fully available for us. Whatever you are doing, mind should be fully available to us. Like if you are reciting Hanuman Chalisa, your mind should only remain in Hanuman Chalisa, Shri Guru Charana Sarovara, Nishamana Mukura Sudhar, Varno Raghuvar Vimala Jodhayaka Phalsar. So this is Hanuman Chalisa. When I am saying that, I should be where I am in this in front of screen. What I am doing chanting Hanuman Chalisa. For how many duration? 5 minutes. Be 100%. Moment you are 100%, you will be happy and blissful. So what are the topic you are doing? Maybe worldly or maybe religious topic. You should be 100% available. So everything is happening as normal. You are not supposed to change anything. Go to Himalaya for spiritual practice. Go to some Giri Kandara or some caves. Nothing of that sort. So you have to remain normal, but no eruption of thoughts. कोई कुछ बोले घर में भी कोई कुछ बोले somebody says something to you, okay, listen, go and do the work quickly, happily, blissfully, cheerfully, that's all, and come back and again contemplate or think whatever has to be thought. So it is called as nistaranga samudra plus tarangayit samudra. If it is a nistaranga taranga, it's all calm sea, or tarangayit samudra, there are huge waves on the sea. Nistaranga taranga plus samudra, tarangayit samudra is equal to quietening the mind. So if it is a the sea is disturbed or sea is not disturbed, if you add both the terminology and make equal to of that, that is the quietening of the mind. That means whether the sea is quietened or sea is turbulent, in the both stages your mind should be the calmer as ever. So what? How to do that? Stop reacting. Stop commenting. Don't react on any situation. Something happens in the square, maybe Bajaj, some scooter collides with each other. Okay, go see that. If you can help them. Give some water, give some help, solace them through that, make them that a normal human being. But then don't react. Who has given the taken the vehicle from this side? Who has come from there? Side? What did you do? You blah 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 blah. You say so that is all bad. So what is our mantra? Dekho suno bolo mat. See here, don't talk. So you are in the divinity. Spiritual practices is don't get carried away by the waves of mind. You are not supposed to get carried away by the waves of mind. अपना मन अपने को शांत रखना है. Mind your mind. You have to mind your mind. मन शांत रखेंगे तो सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा. So when there are thoughts, if there are really thoughts in this thing, then worldly dreams appear. If the thoughts are there, worldly dreams appear. When there are no thoughts, then worldly dreams disappear. So worldly dreams disappear. So what is the tip of the today? Remain cool, happy every time. Remain cool, happy every time. And so mind should not run away in the time, space, and object. Mind should be like moment you come out of this afternoon meeting, mind start running. अरे मुझे चाय बनाना है, मुझे वो करना है, I want to do this that. So it runs away time, space, and object. It should not run away. So you should do the meditation like loving heart. Your Almighty is there. I am just putting my hand there between the ribs of the two sides, and then there is a Ishtadeva sitting and meditate on that. That is a happy scene. So with this, let us go to now the fifth shloka. न चित्त सर्गयोर्वापि कोऽपि भेदं कथञ्चन अत्रैवोदो अहरन्तीमम् इतिहासं पुरातनम्. Nor is there any difference between the mind and the world on any count, according to the earlier. So even mind and world, as there is nothing a difference. In this connection, they or the wise people narrate this ancient legend. Now, this was all this principle told, and now with this, now the wise person is going to narrate you the story of Karkati. So what is this? This is acting as a real spiritual practice is Karnataka. This is acting as a royal king drama, but know that he is not a king. So we know that there is an example has been given very nicely. He, the drama is going on earlier. Those Ram Leela used to happen, and where there used to be a play of Chittorgarh king, and that Chittorgarh somebody becomes artist, becomes the Chittorgarh king, and he is every day wearing the costume, going as a saying that I am the king of that Chittorgarh. And then when he comes out, then he used to say कि भाई राणा प्रताप वो टोपी निकाल, राणा प्रताप shirt निकाल, राणा प्रताप पैंट निकाल. वो बच्चा, the boy who is collecting all the costumes, putting it in the box for tomorrow, he will always say Rana Pratap do that, Rana Pratap do that. So Rana Pratap used to take out all the Rana Pratap पूरे costume निकाल के उसका दे देता था, and he will close in the box, and then play is over, they will go home nicely enjoying that I am doing a Karnataka. He was doing a very good natak. in the Ram Lila. So then Rana Pratap kept on doing maybe for months together. Then what has happened is consciousness became like, I am the Rana Pratap. So once what happened is this poor chap, young boy, who again asked after the drama is over, he asked this Rana Pratap cap nikal, Rana Pratap shirt nikal, Rana Pratap pant nikal, everything he was asking. So the Rana Pratap said, how can you dare to ask Rana Pratap? And he slapped him. He slapped him, and that boy could not understand what has happened, how this plan has changed. And then he walks out of that drama room, goes on the street, sees the bus there, climbs the bus, and then ticket conductor comes and he asks, "Where you want to go? Ticket you take?" He says, "Rana Pratap, you are asking ticket." Then bus conductor was very clever. He understood everything. What has happened? He said, "Okay, keep quiet." So he told the driver to take this bus outside the city in some far off place in jungle. He takes that there and then applies the brake very fast. When he applies the brake very fast, and then he says, Chittorgarh. Then this Rana Pratap says, "Oh, Chittorgarh," and he gets down there. And then he enters into the jungle and then suffer by wearing that dress of Rana Pratap. Similarly, this Rana Pratap which has been told in this story, we are all that Rana Prataps in this world. Somebody has become a physician as a doctor, somebody has become an engineer, somebody has become an administrator, somebody has become a housewife, somebody has become the uh, businessman, somebody has become the stock exchange broker. All these are all Rana Prataps, and we are enjoying this Rana Pratap. But you never know. Our bus, sometime this driver, which is the owner of this, he will take us to the jungle and apply the brake, and he will say, Chittorgarh has come. Now you get down. So we'll get down foolishly and suffer in life. If you really don't want to become the Rana Pratap of this thing, do a Karnataka, remain in this relative world, and do not allow this relative world to take over you, take over your mind your mind. Don't become Rana Pratap, don't become any human being. Always remain, be with your divinity, be with your original nature. Moment you remain with original nature, you always are focusing on the truth. And moment you becomes focusing on the truth, what happens is mind becomes subtler and subtler, subtler and subtler. And one day you come to know by the God's grace, yes, this is that same divinity expressing through me. This is the same divinity expressing through the whole world. And I am no more a Rana Pratap. I am no more getting cheated as a male member. I am no more getting cheated as a female member. You remain already in same samsara, same people, same atmosphere, but your all mindset is changed. And mindset, what happens is you remain cheerful, you remain blissful, you remain happy, you remain contented, you remain tranquil, you over and above, you remain cool and relaxed, because now your mind is in your control. You have understood everything, and that's why there is a purpose of this contemplation, purpose of this inquiry is that you are not supposed to become a Rana Pratap. You are not supposed to become what you are doing. You do that activity only for a short period and do the Karnataka. Take out your all dress in the evening and become one with the divinity. Remain happy, cheerful. The happy person never thinks, and the person who thinks he is never happy. So with this, let us say the last loka, what is going to happen tomorrow with this karkati or these demonesses. So with this now, man generally becomes what? He becomes father, son, or an husband, and then suffer. Actually, if he remains as a man and do the role of father, or do the role of son, or do the role of husband, so it is a Karnataka, he is happy. People around him is also happy. If somebody goes and asks you, go and get me a water, go and get a water. Why you argue? Just go and give water and be happy. Let them be happy who wants to drink water by your hand. You also be happy. So that has been told in this first five shloka. Now the sixth shloka which we are going to start tomorrow, we will first today take this and we'll start from tomorrow with that. This is the story of Karkati. Actually, now listen now. This Karkati has become the jivanmukta. That is a big, very nice story. And how she becomes a demoness can become a jivanmukta. If you take a moral of that story, Tatparni, if you understand, then you'll be really happy. So Karkati can become. Why not people like you and me who are attending this afternoon meeting will become? So Karkati is demoness, and this story is so lovely, so enchanting that we really cannot forget that we are divine. If you really go through story very slowly, then you'll all यार करकटी जब बन सकती है जीवन मुक्त तो मैं क्यों नहीं? I am already जीवन मुक्त. I have to only know the things I have to understand. समझदारी जीवन में लाना है. So what is that? We'll see six loka. First in Sanskrit, then in English. हिमाद्रेरभवेत् पार्श्वे कर्कटी नाम राक्षसी तस्या विपुलकायत्वात् दुर्लभत्वां निजाध्यसस् न kadachana sa trupti upayata mahodari. So what is this? There was a demoness man named as Karkati in the vicinity of Himalaya mountain. So near the Himalaya mountain, this Karkati, which is called as Soochee, was staying there. Because of her large body and scarcity of her food, the big-bellied one never attended satisfaction even in once. Mahodari. She has a huge belly, huge structure like a mountain, and she could not have such a nice food or such a quantity of food. So she was suffering, and she was always asking for food, thinking about the food, and there is nothing else. But when she became the jivanmukta, her behavior was totally changed, and in fact, she decided only to uh, kill the people who doesn't know the scriptures, kill people who are not wise. So that time she asked the king 72 questions on the scriptures. So such a knowledge she had. She had a full understanding. So she became the Anyaya Badika. She was knowing Anyaya she will not allow. So this when she was in ignorance, what she was thinking, she was only thinking of eating, eating, and eating, and she was training her mind how to eat and how to get most of the food, and she could not get the food, and so she was suffering. So everything depends on that what you want to train your mind. So now listen. Now you are doing the contemplation from 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When you are decided to do contemplation, you are training your mind. What you are training? Yes, whether I like it or not, whether I know it or not, whether I want it or not, I am divine. You are continuously saying, when Karkati can become divine, how cannot become? And Karkati was also in ignorance. I am also in ignorance. I will come out of that. So she wanted to eat everyone on this जम्मू द्वीपा. ये जम्मू द्वीप जो है इंडिया भारत देश के सब लोगों को खाने की उसकी इच्छा थी. She wanted to everybody to do that, and she was also doing the tapasya. If she do the tapasya, she will be in a position to get some boon from Brahmaji, and she will eat everyone, including all of us in Jammu Dweep. That was her this. So what is that story? Jammu Dweepa gata ansarvam nigirami nishita व्यवस्थिता तपः कुरुतु tam pitamaha aya. So Pitamaha, that is Brahmaji, she started contemplating. So she has decided कि मेरे को तो खाने के लिए यार अच्छा चाहिए, तो मैं पूरे जम्मू द्वीप पे लोगों को खा लूंगी. Having decided, I shall swallow all the people situated in the continent of Jammu. She settled in performing auspicities. She was knowing, ये तो मेरे हाथ में ऐसे नहीं लगाने वाले, मेरे को ब्रह्मा जी को ही मानना पड़ेगा, ब्रह्मा जी को मैं बोलती हूँ, and I will do the tapasya. So tapasya is always for gaining something or the other. That's what she has been told. And she started doing tapasya. So what tapasya she was doing? Om Brahmane Namaha. 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 She started contemplating. अब क्या ब्रह्मा जी को तो आना ही है. In tapasya, anything can be attended. And Brahmaji came and gave her a boon. And what is that boon? What Brahmaji gave? We'll see it tomorrow with these prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat. Sri Ramachandra Arpanamastu, submitting the divine fruits to the holy feet of Sri Ramachandra. The story is very enchanting. Please do come online and really get the feel of that Karkati, and also the feel that how we really can also become wiser day by day. Also, we can become the tranquil, remaining in the whatever the world, remaining in the same company of good or bad people, remaining whatever the let the people do. It's a curly tail. We are not here to correct the people. We are here to only correct our mind. We are here only to correct ourselves. Our job is only very simple. We have to introvert. We have to introvert. We have to remain and introspect ourselves. With this introspection and this contemplation, what will happen is समझदारी आएगी. जीवन में समझदारी बहुत जरूरी है. Understanding should come. Moment the understanding comes, you will see the bliss. The same example like the person who is sitting on the tree, he can see the far off bullock cart coming and guiding the person who is sitting on the floor who wants to go to the village for a treatment to Vaidya. I'll narrate this story tomorrow maybe. And if the person who asked for the bottom area, how come you know that way? He said, I am on the top of the tree, so I know everything. So similarly, our mind it becomes settler. They will know everything for sure. With this, thanks a lot and see you tomorrow. Namaste.